So, hello everyone, and welcome to this session. My name is Emmanuel de la Gardette. I'm working for ZTE, and today I will talk to you about some new challenging to be expected from the telecom business model evolution. The OTT or hyperscalers company have demonstrated their commercial success and their enormous profitability by applying a business model based on the revenue sharing and co-investment. So the principle is very simple. It consists for a company which markets the use of an infrastructure to open this so-called infrastructure to a third-party company candidate to develop on their own investment fund value-added services for client of the infrastructure. This third-party company will save on the infrastructure investment as well in the customer recruitment cost. This third-party business cash back infrastructure owner by paying them a share of this revenue generated by services. This split is typically 30% of the service revenue. In this three-parted business, it is commonly named B2B2C. In this equation, the first letter B corresponds to the infrastructure business. The second B to the business of third-party solution deployed at zero marginal cost in the already present infrastructure. And the last C to the infrastructure customer. So if we apply this business model equation to the telecom sector, naturally, we expect to see the operators playing the role of infrastructure as the first B. In the role of the second B, the third-party company coming to deploy add-value service within the infrastructure in order to develop business with the C, I mean telecom subscriber. Technically, there's nothing new since it is a model often used in the VAS and IN domain from the old 2 and 3G voice system. However, from a business point of view, revenue sharing case on this architecture remain extremely rare. So for a year now, we have all noticed that the line between telecom technology and IT technology is no longer as strict as it was originally. Indeed, more and more, the telecom world use technology coming from the internet and computer industry. So under this pressure, the telecom world has progressively opened the door to IT technology adoption. Initially entangled only on the lowest layer of the architecture, this adoption has progressively touched every level. However, despite a strong desire of control by telecom standardization and authority of regulation, it seems that operator concession to the only telecom origin concept are appearing more and more for delay or budget reason. Let's take a first example of this kind of concession. And I would take the example of RCS. RCS means Rich Communication Suite. This is a story of more than 10 years now. Western operators have studied, announced, planned, and repeatedly postponed its implementation. Then Google entered in the game. Thanks to its legitimacy coming from the Android project, he has convinced many operators, and now it's monetizing the activity of its huge portfolio of third-party corporate messaging partners. The North American operator, T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, and recently Verizon, have made the same choice, even declaring publicly, speaking of RCS, oh, let's give it to Google. So let's have a look on a potential second example of concession. Edge computing is a new buzzword, arrived in the 5G deployment architecture mandate, with many discussions are underway on this subject in the world of telecommunication. Equipment companies are coming up with new hardware and core network packages that support new use and new disruptive application for the future of future revenue streams. However, as the 5G NSA architecture does not necessarily require MEC right now, operators today are gently postponing their study and investment on the subject in favor of short-term subjects like the deployment of 5G new antenna, for example. So, but convinced by the enormous business opportunity that the binding of edge computing to the 5G could be, hyperscalers put forward their technical know-how in distributed cloud architecture and in hosting application services to offer to operator without delay transparent solution based on the edge. Some hyperscalers company are now offering edge solution to operator for offload deployment of business application at the edge of the network and take advantage of the extraordinary 5G premises performances. In the edge cloud computing solution offered by hyperscalers, were widely adopted by the industry and deployed in regions where the potential business is very high, it's reasonable to think that operator would have every interest in choosing this deployment solution instead of investing on their own infrastructure. This path would create a de facto standard for the deployment of business services in the edge, and would be a low-cost, low-risk, and rapid solution for operator to meet the constraint of the distributed deployment of 5G SA. The negative side of this solution is obviously to deprive operator of a potentially very profitable business of this kind of application, which requires extreme performance. In this way, operator could lose to the full profit of OTTs and hyperscalers a unique opportunity to monetize one of the key value of the 5G. So let's come back to the analysis of the B2B2C model applied to Telecom. If this kind of concession were to generalize to most infrastructure elements, such long-distance transmission or Open RAN or something like that, there's a big risk to see a kind of role position inversion in this previous equation. The telecom operators would go from the role of infrastructure owner to only contractor position. The hyperscaler would become the infrastructure runner, and the customer would no longer be exclusive subscriber of the operator, but the customer of the hyperscaler. To explain more clearly the role inversion risk, losing the infrastructure leader role will have terrible consequence on the longer term, blocking operator only in the last mile connectivity business and losing as well the end customer ownership. Well, this bad story is not written. Telecom are everywhere, instead of hyperscaler, which are only concentrated in some limited geography around the globe. ZTE, with its advanced product portfolio, is helping operators to build and manage their own 5G infrastructure to develop their B2B2C value partnership and improve their profitability along innovative technical and business solutions. With ZTE, operator can maintain their leadership in communication-related business. They can provide for each country where they operate the possibility to host and integrate key services locally to help them to keep their sovereignty and independence. To summarize, there's nothing that an OTT can offer an operator with ZTE technology cannot do. Let's give an example. For example, in China, ZTE has developed and deployed a new 5G business messaging solution, offering public API and full standard terminal profile support. Hundreds of third-party companies catch this great opportunity to deploy service in any domain: banking, public service, energy, environment protection. In this new solution, we propose to cover a broad terminal compatibility, business services for hosting and billing for 2, 3, 4, 5G, and IoT networks, with a broader scope than just RCS, which is included for applicable case. This solution perfectly adapted the diversity of telecom network currently in use and will allow operator to easily implement a B2B2C model locally in very controlled and secure manner. In another area, ZTE offers a very rich mobile edge computing solution comprising specialized and optimized hardware, the software component of the core network to be relocated at the edge, and the complete suite of orchestration and supervision tool for the manager. Every kind of deployment are possible, from the isolate 5G SA into industrial campus, to the public network specialization and every configuration of private 5G network. Built on top of the most complete and efficient virtualized infrastructure, ZTE DevOps tooling has allowed to define more than 70 vertical private 5G network scenarios. These scenarios, initially created for our major customer with our partner, are now available in the slicing store and ready to use for everyone. Thanks to this technology, ZTE promotes the concept of private network as a service by offering a high-level customer order interface, allowing the reuse or customization of scenarios available from the slicing store, as well as the creation for new original scenario. This extraordinary agility in this tooling will allow third-party company specialized on certain industrial field to create their own vertical scenario within the operator's network infrastructure. In conclusion, the 5G represents a promise of a new world of performance and extraordinary business, as well as a technical and economic challenge unknown in the history of the telecom industry. Never operator and equipment manufactured had so much pressure to reinvent themselves, to create new business and manage such technological progress in a such short time. Modern economics seems through this example to show us that in face of a challenge, waiting and hesitating does not reduce the risk of change. ZTE, we are strongly believe that operators have to tackle without delay this business model transformation that the 5G is requiring and now making possible at the same time. This is for this reason that I would like to repeat once again that ZTE is here to support you in all your 5G challenging, to be sure that you will be the first in all your market. B2B2C is probably the secret source of our future prosperity. So let's think about that. Which B would you like to be? Thank you for listening and enjoy with ZTE Technology the rest of this conference.